So I came to a simple house in a different way than a lot of the newer volunteers. I didn't apply uh, or I didn't go through any interview process or anything. Clark started a simple house when I was in college, and we were volunteering together at a different organization, and we got to know each other. And while he was starting a simple house, we would talk a lot about um, different ideas about like what the poor needed, and he would tell me what he was thinking about a simple house, and he even asked me to be on the board of directors. So I was on the board while I was in college, and I didn't really know exactly what a board of directors was until that point. And so I knew Clark, and I would help him. I would occasionally go out and help some of the families with him, and do different things while I was in college. And I had already discovered at this point in my life that I really love the poor, and I felt drawn to the poor, and that I felt like comfortable and like myself when I was serving the poor, and I wanted to keep doing this. But even though I was like really in agreement with Clark and a lot of the ideas that he had for a simple house I liked, I had this mental block that I was not going to do a simple house. I could be on the board, but eventually I would go volunteer somewhere else. And I don't really know why I thought that, but I was very resolute in this while I was in college. And my senior year, I didn't really think about like where I would go work, and I thought, oh well, it'll be great to like travel for a year. So I did this like long European trip after I graduated college, and then I came back and I was going to work a little bit, and my big plan was to go like surfing in Costa Rica for like 6 months, and this was going to be awesome, obviously. And I think God really used my disorganization here because I couldn't get the trip to like come together. Meanwhile, we had this house donated to a simple house, and so it was the second house that we had, and there was nobody to live in that house, and there was an elderly woman named Lucy living in that house, and someone needed to come and live with her, and there was nobody. The first time I visited that house before it belonged to a simple house, I was looking around, and the house was a wreck, and there was all this, it was kind of a weird situation with a couple homeless women living there, and I said to myself in my head, it was not me, but it was me, and I said, oh, I will live here one day, and I said, no, I won't. I'm not going to live here. I already have thought about this. I'm not going to be a volunteer at a simple house. But that kind of stuck with me. So I'm back from Europe. I'm working. I'm trying to get my plans for Costa Rica together, but it's not coming together. And I'm talking with Clark, and he's telling me we need someone to live in this house, but I don't know who. And it was just like so obvious that I didn't have anything better to be doing, and I should be moving into this house. But I was very hesitant, and I thought, like, this is not what I want. But finally, it was kind of like push was coming to shove, and someone had to move into this house and live with Lucy. And I had this, like, nagging that I should do it. And I finally said, okay, I'm going to move into this house. And I felt very at peace when I made that decision, and I knew it was the right decision. But then I immediately, became very petulant about it, and I said, Clark, I'm only living here for 5 months until you get somebody else. And that was in 2006, and it's 2015. I'm still at a simple house. So I moved into a simple house, really hesitating, but I kept staying, and there were lots of reasons why I kept staying. Sometimes because I was too disorganized to move elsewhere, other times because I was really, like, loved the people that we were serving, and I couldn't imagine separating myself from them. And sometimes I wanted to go. I was like, I'm tired of this. this is difficult. But just over the years, God made it more and more clear to me that this was really like where I wanted to be. Even though there were times when I didn't want to be there, like really, I longed to be there, and it was like a fulfillment of a lot of my desires to continue to stay at a Simple House. And so God was very persistent, and He kept calling me, and He kept showing me that I needed to stay. And I think I was at a Simple House already like about 5 or 6 years when I said, okay, Lord, this is where you want me. I know this is where you want me, and I accept that. And that was a very happy time of my life when I was finally able to accept that, and I knew it was true, and it was wonderful to acknowledge that. And so I stayed, and after I was able to decide that, then it became very obvious that Ryan and I should get married. And so then it was just wonderful and happy and great. And so here I still am, and that's how I ended up at a Simple House.